morning, and thank you for taking the time again to be with us this morning. My name is Rick Bergmann. I'm a producer from Manitoba and the chair of the Canadian Pork Council. The Canadian Pork Council represents the views of 7,000 hog producers. So before I get into all of this, I have to tell you how much we're hurting. COVID-19 has made a bad situation worse for our hog producers. So the financial and the mental health of my fellow producers in a precarious position. My message to all those that are listening here, to my fellow producers, don't be hesitant to reach out to your friends, your fellow producers and neighbors. We're in this together, and that is the only way we're going to succeed, is if we stay together in this. COVID-19 has pushed the pork sector into a free fall by disrupting supply chains and driving down the prices of hogs. The market devastation caused by COVID-19 will only increase as a pandemic drags on, and that's a huge dark cloud that will linger over our heads for some time. COVID-19 has quickly pushed farmers into a negative cash flow position. Their market returns don't even cover the cost of operating the business. So it's important to remember what that business is. We are feeding people. That's plain and simple. We raise pigs to create safe, high-quality protein that Canadians can rely on. While initially it looked like the markets might strengthen and the consumers undertook panic buying in grocery stores, prices have since undergone some of the fastest, deepest declines on record as demand shifted from food service to retail and processors, reduced capacity, or closed plants. Ironically, we have a short-term situation where producer prices are falling because of oversupply and consumer prices are rising because of shortages. That said, consumer prices, while increasing still further if hog producers are forced off their farms and pork production declines. The market prices in Canada have fallen by a minimum of 30% since the start of this crisis. The effect on isoines, so the 24, 25-day-old baby pigs, has been horrendously drastic as well. Many of these have turned into a zero value in the marketplace when needing to sell them. And that causes a big problem. Producers across our country expect to lose approximately $675 million. Individual producers are expecting to lose about $30 a hog for every hog marketed that they're selling this year. You know, and in some regions, the head loss is going to be more than that. The per head loss is looking at more than $50. So this really can't be maintained. We've heard from others in regards to the essential service that we provide and the critical importance of food security for our country. So again, the CPC recognizes that government has attempted to provide additional support to Canadian businesses during this pandemic, but the support is wholly inadequate. It's not good enough, and it addresses the challenges. It really doesn't address the challenges really that hog producers are facing. We are facing a cash flow crisis. It's nothing less than that, and it's impacting our viability. Pork producers have seen their inventory value decline to almost nothing. So leaving nothing to secure debt against. Really, without emergency support, they won't be in a position to repay their existing debt they already have, let alone any additional debt taken on during the crisis. Farmers are really struggling, and to respond to the use of tools to the disposal to limit the impact of their farm, their family, and their food supply. We're really out of options, and now's the time when there's extremely hard decisions that have been made to decisions like aborting sows, resorting to welfare slaughter. Really, these are becoming very unavoidable, and that's a very big challenge for us. Hog farmers, consumers, public service, and elected officials all agree that this is an unacceptable situation and that something must be done. So unfortunately, the government's response to date has left farmers questioning how committed it is to protecting Canada's food supply. Farmers need the government and have requested to the government to take emergency action to help farmers pay their feed and their fuel bills, to provide some confidence that there's a future in ensuring consumers have access to ready supplies of Canadian pork. Our government doesn't need to reinvent the wheel, folks. They have all the tools they need to fix the problem. But there has to be a political will to help us who create food for the country to consume. Without action, family farms will be threatened. They are threatened already. The risk of our food supply disruption increases, and so does food insecurity as supplies tighten and food gets more expensive. We cannot let this industry fall by the wayside because of government inaction. Canadians deserve better, and that's why we have you on this call today. We need you to help us get that message out, get it stronger, because we're very, very vulnerable right now. Thank you.